Alright guys, Friday afternoon here in Texas. Today's October 7th. The last video we did was the rocking chair build that we did. Now we are starting on a solid black walnut king size bed. And it's going to have a shiplap headboard and all that. So it's going to be quite a bit of joinery going on with that. So we'll let you see around the shop real quick right here. This is the little shop here in Texas where we build all the furniture. And outside the shop, this is it's 20 by 30, the building. It's all insulated, air conditioned, and outside is another 20 by 20 covered area where I do my spraying and run my miter saw and router table and stuff like that out there. And here's the rest of the lumber that's going into this bed. It's going to be a 60-inch tall headboard, all shiplap. It's all going to be laid in there horizontal. So starting with these boards right here, we're about to cut these down to rough length, and then I'm going to joint one edge of it and then rip them down to a rough width on the table saw. They're going to finish length will be 60 inches, finished width will be about 3.5 inches square. So that way what I'm going to do is I'm going to chop these down and join them and then rip them to width, and then I'm going to just lay them together where I cut them in half. I'll just move the front to the back, and that way the grain should match up a lot better than if we just flip them on there and try to book match them or something like that. So, but that's it. It's going to be a king size shiplap bed. And we're just getting started to mill this up, so give that a shot and take some video clips of the progress, see how it goes. Okay, I wanted to talk about this real quick. So we mark these out so that we keep the orientation of the boards as they come off the saw. Like put the pyramids on there so you know which board came from where. And this was done on this side too. So basically, this is the way the board looked before it went through the saw. And the reason I'm talking about this right now is because what we're going to do, we got to have the finished dimensions of these legs are going to be 3.5 by 60. Right? So we got to laminate these together to make them thick enough to get 3.5 inches. So the way we're going to do that is we're going to take this board, the way we cut it, and we're going to pull the back section over the top of the front section of the board. And we got to joint these faces and all, but I wanted to show you this. So when that's glued up, so right now it's not even jointed or anything, but you can see how that grain looks, right? So when we get this jointed up real tight and get that glued in, and then plane it down to final dimensions, that grain is going to match on that leg pretty well. And so we'll have it's going to come out 4x4, but by the time we plane it out and get it all dimensions up where we want it, get it all clean, we're going to come out with about 3.5 inch square legs for the headboard, and then we'll follow the same procedure for the footboard, but obviously it's going to be a little shorter, but I wanted to show that so you get an idea how we do that glue up. Good morning. It's December 9th, 2022, and about to finish up this walnut bed here. It's the finished headboard and footboard. They're ready to. We're gonna shoot those with catalyzed varnish once we're all done with the bed rails. So this is what we're doing today. We're working on the bed rails. We have these. These are 1.5 inches thick, so that's a 6/4 walnut board. It's a wide board. It's about 10 inches. Now you can see, I wanted to show you guys this, it has a really bad crook in it here. So it's hooked so bad, and it's such a big board and it's so long, that's going to be a real challenge to get that edge straightened out. So we got a real nice, long joiner here. That's an 8-inch joiner, but these boards are just too big and heavy to make that practical, especially without much of a hook on it. So the solution is we're going to put this on the table here, and we're going to rip that down with the TS75 custom trap saw. Now we use this because, one, it cuts pretty deep, it has great dust collection on it, and it's pretty accurate. But if you don't happen to have something like that, you don't actually need that kind of a saw there to do it. If you look back here in this corner here, that is actually a circular saw guide there. So the saw rides along that fence to it, and then that edge is where the blade will go. And that gives you zero clearance just like the trap saw does, but without any dust collection. Shop's closed up, it's climate controlled in here. So we've been using the Festa tools, and the thing is, like, this saw right here has so many features that make it so much better to use than a normal saw like this. With the zero clearance and the riving knife and the dust collection and all that stuff. Here's one we just cut. And we're just about to cut the second one, but that just sets a nice edge on that board. Now we have a nice edge to go against the table saw fence. We're going to rip it down to 8 inches on the table saw once we're done, getting one edge straightened out on it. So I just kind of wanted to point that out and just kind of let you guys see how that's done here. And it saves a lot of time, no messing around with that big heavy board, and it'll go right through the table saw, no problem. We'll get a nice 1/8 width, and then we'll mill it down to thickness and put the hardware on it to attach it to the bed, and that's going to be about it. And then we're going to shoot it with a varnish, and that'll be the end of that bed.